Because we're cutting a void, we need to take the bearing that comes with the router inlay kit and place it on the collar like so. With the bearing in place, we now have to check the height of the router bit. Because we're cutting a void that this piece is going to fit into, the depth of the cut has to be less than the height of this piece of material. Right now, the router bit is taller than the piece of material, so I need to lower it slightly. Now my router bit is adjusted and the height of the router bit is slightly below the height of the material. Okay, we're now ready to cut the voids. You'll notice everything is clamped to the workbench and nothing is moving. A couple of things to check. First is, when you put your router on the template, make sure that the clamps do not interfere with the router base. If the clamps interfere with the router base, your bearing will not be able to stay against the side wall of the templates and your inlay won't look right. Now, if you're new to cutting out inlays, you might want to cut this void first, because if your bearing doesn't stay against the side wall the entire time, that's okay, because we're going to go back and forth and remove this material anyway. So this is almost practice for cutting out the inlay. And here we go. Alright, I've taken my router and I've gone back and forth, and cut out the majority of this material. Now I clean it out using shop vac. You'll notice there's still some material left in the void, and that's okay. The first pass, all you want to do is get the majority of the material out. Now you're going to take your second pass, and when you take your second pass, you're going to want to make sure your bearing rides along the wall all the way around, so you get a nice clean edge for the inlay to go into. After you go around the perimeter one time, then go back and clear out the rest of this material. Alright, after cutting out your void, if there's a little lumpy area in the bottom, you can just take a little chisel like this and just kind of scrape it off. You want to get those little ridges off of the bottom, because if there's a big ridge in there, when you put this piece down in there, it might kind of make it sit a little off. So get those little knobs out. Now that my void's cut, I'm going to take the template off. Using my paint scraper.